J Drone here. What's going on, guys? GNB 850. We're gonna put on the J Drone. That's what this drone's called. It's called the J Drone, and that's how you have to say it too. We busted up the Caddx on our last flight. I was trying to do proximity flying with this, and it didn't go too well. So we have a new Caddx in there. I have the same props. You can see that one's chipped. We're just going to give this battery a little bit of run. This is a 3S 850. I generally run a 4S 1300 on there, so I'm not looking for extreme flight time, but I would like to get a nice run on this. So that's what we're doing. We're testing this battery. I will let you know it's like 100 something out here. Like, it's really, really hot, so that might affect the duration of the battery. Generally on a 1300 milliamp an hour 4S, I was seeing, I think, like around 8 minutes. If I put it in stab mode and just really cruised around with it, maybe I get around 10 minutes. So I'm venturing that this will probably get around that 4-minute mark. And spoiler alert, I'm recording over it. It just came short of that because I crashed. But we also had the battery on before this footage was recorded, and we also had the battery on after the entire time that I had to search for it because it was in tall brush. So even before you see the whole video here, I'm going to say it's a good spare battery for this. I know this drone really isn't on the market. I mean, you could get a Stan FPV. He could build you one. But as far as going to Walmart or going to Rotor Riot or going to Banggood, you can't buy this drone. But as far as the batteries are concerned, you can definitely buy the batteries. They're on Amazon, and I think they are good batteries, especially for how hot it was and me just ripping around with this. It might not look like I'm moving really quick, just for the simple fact I'm up pretty high in altitude, and I have a nice area here where I can really cruise around. And when we're cruising straight over the abyss and we're getting in that second field, it doesn't look like we're moving quick, but in all reality, we're moving pretty darn quick. So this was a heavy draw on this battery. Got it back inside. The levels were just under 3.7 per cell. So we probably could have ran it a little bit harder. So I'm happy with it. I'm definitely happy with the battery. I have, what are these, GNB? I think these are GNB branded batteries. I was using small GNB 1 cells on my eSheen trash can. I was getting dope flight times. I was getting extended flight times. I have a video on that. Maybe I'll put it up top. Look up top. Click on that if you want to check it out. Right now, we're kind of just following the path around. Yes, I know my camera angle is not up as high as I'd like it to. With this, I believe it's a tracer. I believe they like to call it tracer, the 4K tracer Caddx camera. The FPV camera that I see in my goggles is actually the top camera, and the DVR camera is on the bottom. I think they should have switched that around because the FPV camera isn't looking at the ground as much as this DVR is looking at. The DVR quality, I'm absolutely loving the DVR quality on this Caddx. If you were thinking about getting a Caddx tracer 4K camera, I'm not shooting in 4K, I'm shooting in 1080p 60 frames per second. But if you needed a 4K lightweight FPV camera all-in-one type system, you will have to hook it to a transmitter. I'd say this is the way to go. There's a popular majority of FPV racers that say this is the way to go. I am using a Jumper T8 SG2 Plus voice module. That was the last ones that came out, the carbon fiber ones. The one that I have is my graffitied one that was sent to me via Jumper, so it's the controller that I'm using. This was a quick battery test flight on this battery. FPV, super hot out, a little bit of acro flying, a little bit of burn around. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, smash the subscribe button. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, down below. Stay tuned for the next video. It will be close proximity flying. Later.